Forget, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Monday. Because Monday is a new week. Monday is a fresh start. And whatever happened last weekend, we can forget about that. Because we can start fresh on Monday. Monday's when the habit trackers come out, the new stationery comes out, everything is planned, everything's going to be great for a couple of days. But by Wednesday, those gorgeous intentions, they've gone out the window. Week after week, we keep coming back on Monday and really beating ourselves up because what happened to all of those intentions, all of those goals? And where's the willpower? Why can't we stick to these plans that we make? I have been there as well, and it is so frustrating when you can see the goal, you can see the progress, but you're just kind of stuck and you're not able to keep that momentum for more than like a couple of days. The problem here is not your willpower. There is a science behind making lifestyle changes that will do the work for you. Let yourself just relax a little bit. I want to share with you the biggest shift that I've been able to make to completely transform so many areas of my lifestyle that has nothing to do with willpower, has nothing to do with discipline. I don't think I'm very disciplined at all. It's kind of weird from a bodybuilder. I just had a really good plan. Hello, my friends. My name is B. And after years of delivering life-saving therapy to patients on psychiatric wards with psychosis, people with personality disorders at a really high risk of suicide, people with urgent needs and life-threatening reasons to change their behavior, I realized therapists are kind of gatekeeping these incredible evidence-based tools that can be applied to lifestyle changes for anyone. The methods are all the same. I've used these tools to completely transform my life, my mental health, and then beyond that, not just to get to a baseline survival, but then understand what is flourishment, what does it mean to really grow into the best version of myself, and to get to design my lifestyle and choose what I want in it. Glad you found the channel and welcome along. It's Monday, you've got this new plan, you've got this big dream, and you've been thinking about how you're going to do it, and you kind of know the steps, but the follow through isn't quite there. Maybe you want to start going to the gym. Maybe you want to put yourself out there and make new friendships, meet a new person. Making new habits and lifestyle choices is really like cutting down a new path when we're walking through a jungle. There'll be the main road that's pretty well established, and that's your old pattern. That's feeling really nervous when somebody texts you asking you to come out and deciding actually you're going to stay at home. That's signing up for a gym membership and continuing to pay it every month because, oh, hopefully this month you're going to go. Those are the well-established paths. They feel easy and comfortable to walk along because they're the same. That's what we always do. That's the easy route. When we're trying to change things, we need to remember that it takes active energy and work to literally cut back all the trees and plants to make the new route the established one. That's a lot of work, and it's a lot of going round and round that same route until it becomes anywhere near as established. It takes a lot of time, and it's difficult. So let's make it easy on ourselves. Say the goal is to go to the gym, and you know that most optimized way to do your strength training is 5 days a week. But at the moment, you're kind of just going maybe every other week. So on Monday, you get your calendar and you say, right, I'm going to go every day after work, 5 days a week. Stop. Make it easy. Make it something that you can achieve. We don't need to bulldoze the new jungle path just yet. We can just tiptoe through, a little bit at a time. Instead of diving straight into the deep end, Why don't you just try 1 day a week and build up the momentum? A really helpful model related to the proximal zones of development. In the center here, we've got our comfort zone, the safety zone, and this is a chill place to be. When we're here, we're not really looking at expanding ourselves. We're just keeping everything the same. And sometimes that's where we need to be, to recuperate, to rest. But when we're thinking about making changes, we need to just go a little bit outside this zone, but slowly. What often happens to people who are really motivated and who want things is we jump straight out to the panic zone. This is throwing yourself right in the deep end. This is saying, hey, I've ran 5K, I'm going to sign up for a marathon, and then running as far as you can and not being able to walk for 3 days. Is that too specific? Here we're biting off way more than we can chew, saying yes to a lot of things, and growth and learning in this panic zone is really difficult because we're just overwhelmed with information and we can't make any meaning out of anything that we're doing because it's all just kind of too hard. The best way that we learn is through little bite-sized chunks. And this is the middle zone, which is called the stretch zone. Here, we're uncomfortable, but we're not overwhelmed. It's a little bit like Goldilocks. We want that zone just right. Not too easy that it's boring and we're so comfortable we're not learning anything, but not so difficult that it's just overwhelming and we feel exhausted. In the stretch zone in the middle is where we start to build momentum and confidence because we prove to ourselves, hey, I'm actually kind of doing this and maybe I can do a little bit more. And that really starts to build our consistency because we prove to ourselves that we can do it. In the stretch zone, we set ourselves up to succeed. So instead of saying, I want to hit the gym 5 times a week, just by saying, I'm going to go once a week, that's manageable. That's something you can do. And then at the end of the week, you can be like, hey, I did that thing that I said I was going to do. This all takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of intention to be able to set all of these things up. And we naturally want things to be quick. We want to see that progress now. So go easy on yourself with all of this. It is just going to take time. That's almost where the willpower actually comes in. Having the willpower to take it slow, to know that growth is coming, but you need to start small. You need to set yourself up to succeed and then keep going and results will come. But you have to be patient because all of this is difficult. I ended up through this process learning how my body understands to training and diet, and I'm now 13 weeks out from my first ever bodybuilding show. And I used to look like this. So really don't give up. Small little steps make huge shifts over time if you are consistent with them. And the way to be consistent is to make it manageable, dare I say, enjoyable, so that you get momentum from ticking things off and you actually go places. Small little steps, baby steps. The Goldilocks zone. It was never you not having the willpower. It was the plan working against you. And this is where we're gonna level up our plan even more. We're gonna use an implementation intention. It follows a kind of computer coding language of if this, then that. And essentially what we're gonna do is really make a worst case scenario plan. What's your when shit hits the fan plan? A meta-analysis across 94 studies showed that there was a medium to large effect of this if-then planning on goal achievement. And that's what we're all about. We want to actually achieve these goals. The mechanism they found was really key. It actually kind of automates the behavior, so you don't even have to think about what's happening. I think the best way to explain this is to think of a fire drill. As annoying as they are, through physically rehearsing that worst case scenario, what are we all going to do? it creates a plan so that if there were a real fire, we would all just go into autopilot and know exactly what the plan would be. It creates a cue to an automatic response. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to make your fire drill for your worst case scenario. And especially for us, especially those all or nothing people, the people that don't really like being in the stretch zone, they're either in the comfort or panic zone, this plan is important for you. The key thing is to figure out what triggers you to go off plan. When I was thinking all of this through, I realized that every time it got to the weekend, I would be out of my routine. I would often have these big days climbing or hiking or skiing where there were a lot of things outside my control. I would have to have meals kind of on the go. And that made it really hard to stick to the plan that I'd been doing, where I was just kind of rinse and repeating the same pattern every day. And it was working. But then it got to the weekend and there was just chaos. So I realized that the trigger for me was times when I'm outside my usual routine, especially when they're high energy expenditure days, like being out on my feet all day. When those types of weekends are coming, alarm bells are ringing. Off plan. Because the plan that I already had was working, but it wasn't going to work outside of that very controlled environment. It wasn't that I didn't have enough willpower, it was just unachievable. I made a plan for those really tired days. Those evenings when I got back from a full-on day of being outdoors, climbing, hiking, that was my trigger. That was my trigger point where I needed a bit of a backup plan. And I did this twofold. Firstly, through increasing my calories throughout those days, so I had a little bit more fuel and I wasn't getting as depleted when I came home. And then secondly, I gave myself a pre-planned little meal idea. So if I got home and I was still really, really craving something, I didn't have to go through that, oh, what can I have? I had my little plan, peanut butter and banana bagel. It stopped me getting into that binge and restrict, overreaching and then crashing cycle, and helped me recover better overall, and made a huge difference in my mindset because I had a plan. I had a big day, I increased my calories by 10%. If I'm still tired, if I get home and I feel like I really need a top up, I have my bagel. And then that was it. That broke me out of this overdoing it at the weekend cycle, because it was never about willpower. Everyone who is in this cycle does not have an issue of willpower, because what are we doing 80% of the time? Something that requires so much more willpower than just keeping it consistent day to day. Going full gas and then dropping off. Just keep it in the middle. Thank you, my friends, so much. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. I'll be continuing to share these lessons every week with you guys. So hit the like button and subscribe to stay tuned. If you're interested in really kickstarting some personal growth, I would really recommend checking out my meditations. They're not really meditations, they're more empowering visualizations that you can do while you're multitasking. It's not another thing on your to-do list. And these are really going to help you shift into the mindset that you want to embody and make some really long-lasting changes. I've been using them for years and I've been developing them here on YouTube for you guys as well. You can sign up to the weekly newsletter in the link in the description, and then they'll go straight to your inbox as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.